Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Today we were actually blessed to have Dan come over from the East Coast to the West Coast, and we're going to go into the RBRT platform, kind of discuss it a little bit further. We're also going to show you some real-world situation. You can probably see down here in the bottom portion, the top or the side of an intake manifold, aluminum, off of an early to mid-90s Jeep, which I have intentionally taken smaller bits like these Icon Torx bits and purposely rounded out not only a Torx fastener but also an Allen plug. So we're going to see how the RBRT actually performs during the real world situation on this intake manifold. But before we do, I want to introduce you to Dan. Dan's going to go ahead and start us off. Tell us a little bit about the different products that you guys have created for mechanics that have ran into situations where we've had to take an intake manifold off many of times, and then as any other fastener made out of this cheap metal gets worn out, and next thing you know, you're in a pickle trying to figure out how to cut the head off in a recessed intake or tucked in, and you're afraid that you're just going to have to break it off and try to drill it out. So let's go into it. Explain to us what you've brought to us today. What do we got going on?
Well, Justin, thank you for having me out. And as you said, my name's Dan Steyer, and I'm part of the team that brought RBRT technology, rounded bolt removal technology, to MAC Tools. And for a few years now, we've been working on this. So what we have basically is we've designed the newest, latest, greatest innovation in bit socket technology. And what I mean by bit socket technology, I mean hex bits, Torx bits, triple square, and Torx plus. And we've even designed, in my opinion, probably the best broken bolt extractor, easy out if you will, on the planet. And that's what we call our broken bolt extractor with FOR technology, or foreign object removal technology, and we'll get back to what that means here in a minute. But so what we have is a line of tools. We've got a myriad of different ways to purchase it. It comes in short chrome, short impact, long chrome, a lot of different ways to buy it.
So what's interesting about the new product that you've developed, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I've had purchased MAC tools about 10 years back when I first started in automotive, going to school and working at Sears Auto Center. One of the biggest things that I actually bought, or at that time was, it was a fair bit expensive than the Craftsman brand, but we had the Mac truck come out, and he had this kit mixed up and comprised of not only metric, SAE, and Torx bits in a little set to do brakes. And oftentimes you run into fasteners from the factory as they're going through the assembly line. They put these little tiny Torx bits on the rotor to hold it to the hub, which we talked about that you don't have to reuse. A lot of people try to find this at the auto parts store. In fact, I was in line and one particular customer had asked, "Do you sell this fastener to hold my rotor on?" And I had to explain to him, not as important as you think. The caliper is going to hold. You got the torque lug nuts on there. You'll be fine. It's just a factory thing. But I've had these Torx bits and these Allens for 10 years under the gun of using an impact, using a really long breaker bar style ratchet. Never had an issue with this product wearing out. It would be interesting to see what 1 decade has done as far as the upgraded technology that you've developed over what MAC Tools originally had to offer until now. So let's go into the Torx bits here for a little bit. Tell us, what is the real key difference between your design and the 10-year MAC design?
So the main differences in the design from 10 years ago versus today is that when you have a look at my RBRT design, you can see how that we've got little hooks machined into the corners and some bevels that we've beveled in at the top. And the reason for that is when you put a Torx tool into a Torx fastener and it goes to strip, what it does is it cams out, it clicks out of the fastener. And as it clicks out, as it leaves the fastener, it takes material with it. What these little hooks do is it embeds itself down into the corners, and as you apply torque, it locks itself down into the bottom of the fastener and stops it from camming out. So not only can I have a superior engagement on a good fastener to where I'm not going to strip it in the first place, but I can take out compromised ones as well.
Perfect.
And we're able to show you that on our demo block if you like.
Let's take a look.
All right. So on the demo block here, we've got a good Torx fastener and one that's been rounded out. And it's rounded out in the high 90% range. You can see it's got really no points left in it. So what we'll do is we're gonna take your MAC Tool one, the old style, and we're gonna put it into the good one there, and you can see that it fits like it should, and it'll crag it loose, right?
A little slippage, but it sure did.
But it's a little sloppy, but it's 10 years old as well.
10 years old, right? She's seen some time.
So we're gonna put it into the one that's been rounded out, and you can see without even me using the ratchet, I can use my fingers. That thing's got no chance of biting that fastener.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we use yours, let's also check out what size do we need. Let's check out the icon.
It's a T45.
Okay, let's see here. We have a T45 right here. This is in the Icon brand now. I'd be curious to see.
And that's brand new.
This
right?
is brand new, never used. Wanted to try them out, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to see the fitment of the Icon.
Okay, so we're gonna take the Icon, we're gonna go back into the good one, and it fits a bit better actually, because it's newer and it cracks them loose like it should, and you can tighten right back down with it. But now we're gonna put it into the rounded one, and there we go. See how it is just not gonna grab it, and I can go back and forth, and there's just no way that tool is going to engage that fastener.
Right.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Torx bit.
And we're in an unfortunate situation here when you do accidentally round something out, so this is going to be good.
Right. I'm going to put it into the good fastener first, and I want you to notice it sits nice and deep. It has a really nice positive engagement. You want to reach for these the first time every time. These are the new go-to tools. This is the newest technology. Tighten back down with it. Now we're going to put it into that rounded one. It's so tight it won't. Oh my goodness. Hold on. It's too tight. I can't get it out.
Well, it's definitely got a bite.
But it definitely bit down in it.
You know, I bet if we had some more leverage, we could definitely do it. The fact that you're holding it with your hand and trying everything you possibly can, it is just biting. It's not coming off.
It will not. It will.
That's good.
Oh my goodness, Justin.
God.
Oh, there it is. It did not want to.
But you got it. You got it.
Definitely came out of there.
So I've purposely rounded this out so we can use the RBRT just to see how it performs. We're also going to be using the Icon to see how it performs here, as well as his on a good one and a bad one. And I've also got a little plug off here that we have in an Allen. This is a 6mm Allen that I have in Cobalt. We're going to see how that performs to the RBRT. Let's get her done.
All right.
Dan, go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the good one with the Icon. And the Icon fits just like it should, and it's pulling it out just fine. So we'll go ahead and turn that, tighten it back down again. All right. And then we'll move on here over to the stripped one, put the Icon in it. And there we go. She's just camming out. That bad boy is down the bottom of that fastener and it's not coming out. You can see the material being removed, and you can see the metal shavings on the tip of that tool as it removes material, and that's what happens. They cam out and it removes material as they click out of the fastener, just like that. So we'll go ahead and use our new RBRT on it. And to illustrate that we can use them in good fasteners so that you reach for them the first time every time, and they work wonderfully. It prevents them from stripping in the first place. They will not cam out, and you can tighten them right back down again. And then we're gonna go ahead and get it into the stripped one here. And I can, oh, hold on to that station.
I got you.
And
oh, there she goes.
she comes.
Nice.
Just like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and go back the other way and snug that bad boy back down.
There you go. And if you cannot, this is important because you can see here, there's not a lot of room, and oftentimes at work, we'll try to find some kind of hex bit that works with it. Now you can see it still has a hex bit, so there's a way to get around that. But what if it was round? Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right here, we have a round fastener. There's no way to put any kind of a hex socket on that. It is strictly a Torx bit. And oftentimes what you're gonna run into is on these throttle bodies and also intakes is you're gonna be so close that you can't put a hex on there. You have to use the torque. So the fact that you can actually put it back when you're done, even though it's all rounded out, you'll be the guy that can get it out and put it in. Like you said, first time, every time, and it saves you the hassle of trying to find a fastener that'll actually fit there. All right, so let's see what this cobalt can do now. We purposely rounded this plug out.
That's pretty round too, Justin. Look at that bad boy, it's chewed up. So we'll go ahead and put that cobalt in there, and that's what we get. When you put a hex head fastener and a hex head tool together and you apply pressure, you can see how it puts all the pressure to the outside corners and spreads that bolt out, and that's why they round out. All right, so that has no chance of taking that out.
Done.
Now let me grab
She's Dunsky.
my 6mm RBRT.
I dare say that in this situation, before the RBRT, I would be using an extractor trying to drill that out by now.
Right.
Crazy.
So let's get our 6mm hex in there. And out she comes. Look at that. It's got it. And it's coming. There it is. It's out.
That's awesome, man.
So now the whole point of our RBRT is you want to reach for them the first time every time. You don't want to get to that point. You don't want to grab another hex and strip it and then grab mine. Mine's going to prevent you from getting to that point in the first place. Key number one, you don't want to start with a problem. So use my RBRT the first time, every time, prevent you from stripping. But if you come across one that's been severely compromised through another technician or just over time and rust and wear, make sure you get my RBRT bit bottomed into the bottom of that fastener like I just did, apply torque, and you can get them out. And we're actually going to use one of Justin's tools out of his own toolbox and do a comparison.
All right, so the first tool that I have here, now this is I had bought this whole setup, okay, through Amazon, and I'll make sure to put the affiliate link down below. These are made by VIM. They've definitely come in handy, and I know that you're not supposed to, but I've actually used an impact against this. But this time we're going to do it by hand. We're going to see how the M10 works out versus the new and improved MAC. All right, so we got the M10. We have our rounded out fastener, super rounded out. Take my word for it. We are going to try to loosen this. And in fact, if you don't mind, I'm going to give this a little tap.
Sure. Get it
just
down
to show you that this is how we would do it with the new RBRT. And I'm doing it with VIM. Let's just see if we can get it out. Ooh, it moved just a touch. And now all it's doing is making matters worse. And that is what you're going to run into when you're working on these European cars. Let's go ahead and try the RBRT now, triple square. Talk to us about this. So we got a nice design. Does it have any different bite features?
It absolutely does. Every other tooth has our RBRT design incorporated into the design. And now I got to tell you that when we're dealing with triple square, that 12 point, when it strips out, it just makes a mess inside of the fastener and just moves the metal around so much that it's super important, like Justin said, when you put the triple square into the hole, to just give it a tap. Make sure it's bottomed into the bottom of the fastener, and then I go ahead and put that ratchet on there, and now we're gonna go ahead and loosen her off, and here we go. And out she comes, just like that. So what we have here, we've got some sets I brought along with me to show, okay, to give you an idea of what we offer. We certainly offer much more than what I have brought here. I could only bring this much on the plane. So we'll start here. This is our 7-piece set of broken bolt extractors, what we call FOR technology, foreign object removal, and it's a 7-piece set of broken extractors. So you choose the extractor that's appropriate for the size of the broken bolt. You use that drill bit size for that extractor. Takes the guesswork out of what drill bit to use. We've made it very easy for you. Drill down into the metal, pound that extractor in, and we're going to do a demonstration and get back to that here in a minute. This here is a set of extractors without the sleeve, so that if you need to get down into a hole, that sleeve can be a problem. So we made extractors with the same great head design without the sleeve, so that you can get into a tight recessed area and get that broken bolt out. This is a set of extractors that are longer and beefier, so if you're doing bench work or if you've broken the bolt, and you know how sometimes you'll break a bolt off and the threaded piece is still in the hole and the unthreaded piece comes out and you need to get down into a tight spot. That's what this 4-piece set is all about right there. Okay. This is our ball Allen. So speedball, so when you need a little bit of wobble, a little bit of travel, our RBRT speedball Allens. Okay. This is our 13-piece set of Torx, T8 to T60. marketed after every other kind of torque spit set that's out there, very standard with our great RBRT design built into it. This is our mid-length standard and metric hex, okay? 1/8 to 3/8 in standard, 4mm to 10mm in metric. And it's important that I tell you that when you're working with a compromise fastener, a lot of guys will say, well, you know, I only work on the imports, so I don't need the standards. But let me tell you, sometimes incremental sizes can matter when you're trying to remove a compromised fastener. I've come across situations where the 6mm is so compromised that even my 6mm won't bite it, yet the 7mm is too big. And then I grab that 1/4 inch and give it a little tap in with a hammer and it fits perfect, and I'm able to take those out. So incremental sizes can matter. It's super important that you have both metric and standard in the hex. Right here we have the metric and standard impact version of our hex head. This is the 3/8 impact short set. And the reason we made the impact version is our impact version and our chrome versions are different designs. They're slightly different. The impact design is not as aggressive as the chrome design is, so that when you put it into an impact and you hit it, that thump of the impact gun, it doesn't chew the center of the bolt out. The chrome ones are kind of aggressive, so if you put the chrome ones on an impact gun, not all the times, but sometimes with a compromised one especially, you may end up chewing the center of that bolt out and making the problem worse. So the impact design is a little less aggressive. It's more designed for the thump of an impact gun. The chrome ones, incremental torque, incremental increases in torque with a ratchet, okay? They're also hardened a little bit different. The chrome ones are much harder than the impact ones. The torsional rigidity of the impact ones is a little bit more forgiving and works along with the design, so you won't damage good ones, but it still will take out damaged fasteners. And then lastly, we have the triple square set here. Just a really nice design. Awesome for that import stuff in M4 to M18. Very nice. That also comes in impact long, impact short. Lots of different ways to buy RBRT. MAC Tools exclusive, all lifetime guaranteed stuff.
Well, what a fun day we've had, Dan. You know, we got a chance to look at some new tools, the RBRT. I know they've been talked about on other channels. I really like what we've done here today. We got a chance to show you guys some real world experience with an intake manifold. We got a chance to see the extractors in action. We got a chance to see all the different products that you've developed or your team has developed over the last year or so, right?
Yep. Last couple of years.
5 years of trying to get into
You know, we actually launched in August of 2018 with the hex. We started with hex only, 9 different sets, and now 2 years later, we are up to 32 different sets of RBRT, and it's just exploded. It's done so well. It is a fantastic new technology. You know, my job is to get out there into the public and show people what it's all about. You know, there's been no innovation in bit socket technology to speak of. I mean, the hex head fastener came out in 1910, and it is the most used fastener on the planet across lawn equipment, automotive, industrial, doesn't even matter. And there hasn't been really any changes or any innovation in that technology for 100 years. RBRT, we've done it. And you know, it's just been great. And what I'll do real quick is I'll just go through a couple of neat other features, key features about some of these sets. We were talking off camera a minute ago, and I wanted to say something about our FOR extractors. Now, broken bolts, cap screws, they're fantastic. Phillips head, however, can be very difficult to get out when that X is snotted up real bad and nothing's going to get it out.
Absolutely.
You know, the cool thing about a Phillips screw is it's never very tight. You can't get it, it just keeps coming out. So the number 1 and the number 2 extractor are the best Phillips head screw removers there are on the planet. You know, X marks the spot on a Phillips head screw. Just drill straight into the center, tap our little extractor in, takes them out every time. And like you had previously mentioned, no special tool is needed. Just a regular 6-point will take that out, a wrench or a socket, and you know, you can go around and take them all out. Another neat little feature of our 3/8 drive impact set is, now I'm a Harley Davidson owner, and on my primary cover, well, first off, almost every single fastener on that bike is a hex head.
Right, and the Kawasaki is pretty much all Allen.
Yeah, it's all Allen head, right? And the primary cover, those bolts sit in a bevel in the primary cover. And the longer ones, the mid-length ones, make you sit back a little bit from the fastener, which can make it difficult. And then the shorter version, they're too short to get past the bevel. But that set's perfect for the Harley-Davidson guys. So Harley-Davidson guys, you know exactly what I'm talking about with that bevel and that primary cover. These are 3/8 impact. You can take your little cordless impact. They're the perfect length to get those out, and you can rip them out with your cordless impact real quick and make an easy work of it. And I've seen some tremendous success from that with these. One of the things I want to cover about our ball design.
I was actually gonna talk to you about that, because oftentimes what I've seen on previous bikes, be it dirt bikes, haven't really had the issue on the street bike yet, but taking off the fairings with the Allen head, I noticed that you had some extra teeth or more bite incorporated into the ball design. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely, I do. Now, although the ball design is part of the RBRT line, it is not designed to take out super compromised fasteners. You just don't have the contact surface. When you put that into a fastener and you crank it over 30 degrees, if it's compromised, you just don't have the contact surface necessary. So these are not designed to take out super compromised fasteners, but where they really shine, where our ball hex really shines, is when you don't have a straight shot at the fastener and you need to get in there with a little bit of travel. The RBRT designs just lock into the corners, and they don't allow the tool to pop out of the fastener when it's cranked all the way over. So it just engages that fastener fantastically, and when you need a little bit of travel, our ball design, I think, is the best on the planet. But they are not, once again, designed to remove super compromised fasteners. Now, they do bite in much better than a normal one. And if it's somewhat compromised, if it's a little snotted up, you'll have great success getting them out. But just remember, guys, the ball design is not designed in the same way that the regular hex head Allen heads are. Those ones will take out compromised fasteners in the 90% range. Ball design is not for that. But if you need a ball design because you need that travel, give ours a try. They are fantastic quality.
What I will say about the ball design as well is sometimes you're going to run into a situation where you do have to get a slight angle, and that's the reason why you would choose a ball design.
Right.
One of the things that I can appreciate that you've done here is that actually on the ball, and I can't really give you an up close, but take my word for it, you've actually incorporated some teeth in here, and I was just talking to you about the issues that I was having, like with the WIT or white rebranded Matco screwdrivers, where the number 1 wears out prematurely, so I had no choice but to go with a snap-on number 1, and that one has the teeth incorporated. So I really like what you've done here, because that is very important when it comes to getting in there and really making it turn.
Yeah, I mean, when you're trying to get in at an angle, it's all about keeping that tool fastened into the fastener so it doesn't pop out. You don't want it camming out. That's where the RBRT design in the ball hex really shines through. So fantastic ball design. Certainly we have designed a tool line that will pretty much take care of all your needs in the field. Remember to reach for them the first time every time. They are far better at preventing you stripping them out in the first place. You don't want to start with a bad situation to begin with. So reach for them the first time every time. And you know, guys, MacTools.com or see your MAC Tools distributor. And I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your channel.
Thank you.
And I've really enjoyed our time together. It was neat to get some real world situation on that intake manifold. So.
Yeah, perfect. So like he said, first time every time, lots of likable features here with the new product launch that they have with the RBRT. And I gotta tell you, I don't know the cost. We're not going to get into the cost. You can figure that out when you go to the website and you decide to place your order for these tools. But I'm going to let you know, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But I'm going to tell you what, with the designs that they have, I would have rather had something like this than what I currently have right now. Now seeing what they can actually do. Dan, thank you so much for flying out here to discuss the RBRT platform. I really enjoyed our time together. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, smash a thumbs up. Please share the video. Let's get the word out about the RBRT. And I know you've seen other videos with other people doing it, but you know, it's always nice to get another opinion and another angle to see what these things can actually do. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Dan. I hope you have safe travel back.
Once again, thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Cheers and deuces.